Hello everyone, welcome to my new video. Today I will show you cartoon characters you didn't know were real, but before that like the video and subscribe to my channel. Cartoon characters you didn't know were real. Number 1. Popeye, Frank Rocky. The beginning of Popeye the Sailor Man. The Popeye the Sailor Man character debuted in the Thimble Theater comic strip in 1929. He was a minor character hired by character couples Olive Oyl and Hamravi, her fickle boyfriend, to be a part of a ship's crew. While he was only meant to be around for a few strips, the Popeye character quickly became very popular and the focus of the strip. The originally unimpressed and at times fickle Olive Oyl became Popeye's girlfriend. Popeye finds a baby in the mail which he adopts and names Sweepy. He and Olive Oyl watch the child at different times. Popeye the Sailor Man's good friend, J. Wellington Wimpy, was famous for offering to gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today. Other characters were Bluto, Popeye's nemesis for Olive Oyl's attention, and Popeye's pet named Eugene the Jeep. There was also a cobbler, Alice the Goon, Sweepy's babysitter, and a caveman named Tor. Due to the popularity of the strip, it continued to run after Seeger's death, run by his artists, writers, and assistant, Bud Sagendorf. Frank Rocky Fiegel. So who exactly is Popeye based after? Well, the man who Elsie Seeger knew in Illinois was named Frank Rocky Fiegel. He was known as a local legend. He was strong and demonstrated it in the many fights he was in. Like the character, Rocky smoked a pipe and was toothless. Seeger took a few other liberties. Fiegel was more of a drinker than a spinach eater, and he was a bartender, not a sailor. He was, however, said to be very kind to children, a characteristic Popeye was given as well. Recently statues have been raised of the other local character inspirations. Rumor has it that Fiegel wasn't really aware of his role in the creation of our favorite character, Popeye, until his final years of life, passing away in 1947. An engraving of Popeye's face is on his gravestone. A statue of him, Popeye, was raised in Chester, Illinois in his honor. Number 2. Ursula Devine. Girls being rescued, perhaps today even rescuing themselves, and many other archetypes, but certainly not a cult drag queen. Well, in the case of The Little Mermaid, not only was a drag queen at the center of the fairy tale, but she was a self-consciously vulgar, unapologetically big, and convention-busting one at that. Enter Devine, the now iconic queen and John Waters collaborator and inspiration for Ursula, who would have been 74 this weekend. Born Harris Glenn Milstead, Devine's childhood as a queer and overweight boy in Baltimore, Maryland in the late 1950s and early 60s was not easy. As a child, he was beaten so badly and so regularly that his doctor had to have the police intervene. Shy and artistic, Milstead also loved war movies and action films. When he went on a diet and lost 80 pounds his junior year of high school, he learned quickly how shallow his peers were. Many people started talking to him for the first time. When he met John Waters at age 16, things started to change. Waters had recently returned home to Baltimore after being kicked out of NIU for smoking weed, and the two became close. Milstead went to hairdressing school after finishing high school, where he began trying his hand at drag. He also began throwing wild, ornate parties with Waters, unknowingly sponsored by his parents, whose credit card he took it upon himself to use. It was Waters, in fact, that gave Milstead the name Devine, calling her the most beautiful woman in the world, almost, and hoping she would become the Godzilla of drag queens. Because Devine wasn't like other drag queens. I think with John wanted a very large woman, because he wanted the exact opposite of what normally would be beautiful, Milstead told NPR, shortly before his death of an enlarged heart at age 42 in 1988. He wanted a 300-pound beauty, as opposed to a 110-pound beauty. He wanted, as I've been called, inflated Jane Mansfield. And also, it's ironic that he would say the most beautiful woman in the world turns out to be a man. The friendship between Waters and Milstead gave birth to transgressive cult pictures, which have come to redefine the way we think about taste, performance, and satire. Pink Flamingo, in which Devine infamously eats dog shit cereal mom, and Hairspray, in which Milstead plays both female and male characters, were just a few. At 300 pounds, Devine challenged the conventions of drag, an already subversive art form, and created a conversation around who was allowed to perform gender and how. She was also a talented character actor, a skill few realized until near the end of her short life. Number 3. Peter Griffin looked like a dead ringer for Family Guy cartoon character Peter Griffin has become an internet sensation. Robert Franzese, from Long Island, New York, USA, has taken the internet by storm after a video of him adopting the outspoken cartoon character's famous green trousers, white shirt and high-pitched Rhode Island accent went viral. The 26-year-old was filmed at Comic-Con, a convention for comic book and costume play enthusiasts, where fans of the popular cartoon series had to do a double take when they saw him walk by in less than 48 hours. A YouTube video of the impersonator at the convention in New York racked up more than 3.5 million views, making him an internet celebrity in his own right. Now the impressionist has amassed 22,000 likes on Facebook too, receiving a deluge of praise from fans all over the world for his likeness to the animated dad. He said, "I came to the realization I looked and sounds like Peter Griffin very early on. I have been doing his voice ever since I first became a fan of the show back in high school. The cosplaying came much later. A lot of people get really excited when they see me dressed as Peter Griffin, but they get into what I like to refer to as overload excited when they hear me speak. Since I have gone viral a few times now, sometimes I get recognized at shows." Despite his uncanny resemblance to the loudmouth character, unwitting Robert had no idea his adaptation of Peter Griffin would propel him to internet stardom. But now even Family Guy's creator, Seth MacFarlane, has shown he approves of the impressionist by taking to Twitter to retweet the popular YouTube video. He said, "This has all been really amazing. The amount of support I've been receiving is mind-blowing. My ultimate goal in life is to become a voice actor. It would be awesome to make a career out of going to conventions too." Number 4. Edna Mode, Edith Head. Many of us remember the outspoken character Edna Mode from the Disney film, The Incredibles. Edna was the designer for superheroes, just as Edith Head, who Edna was based on, was the designer of the stars. Instead of superheroes, Head dressed some of the most iconic actors and actresses, from Grace Kelly to Paul Newman. Her fashions were some of the most iconic to ever grace the screen, winning her 8 Academy Awards and 35 nominations. Head brought magic to the silver screen by transitioning the actors from who they are into their characters. In a 1975 interview, Head said, "We the costume designers are magicians. We ask the public to believe the same actor and actress over and over again. The same person is another character. Like a magician, she transforms actors right before your eyes." Head was sought-after talent in Hollywood, and although she was under contract with Paramount Pictures, she was often shared with other companies because stars demanded to work with her. Just as Edna had a way of customizing every superhero outfit, Head had a specific way to get it right every time. In a television interview, Edith explained that she took every actress through a personality test. First, they would observe how the actor walked, talked, and appeared on screen. For example, when she created costumes for Audrey Hepburn in the renowned film Roman Holiday, the studio filmed Hepburn in Europe and sent the tape to Head in Hollywood, where she would observe Hepburn's movements. Then when the wardrobe was finished, they filmed a costume test where the actor, in this case Hepburn, would twirl, walk and sit in Head's creations, watching how the costume would work in the midst of action during filming. As a film's plot takes twists and turns, the character begins to change along with their costume. Head calls this transformation through wardrobe. You are able to get a greater sense of the character through the clothes they are wearing. With a swish of her pencil on her sketch pad, Head transformed Hepburn from a princess into an ordinary girl in Roman Holiday. Number 5. Betty Boop, Helen Kane, another popular cartoon character from back in the day. Betty Boop was originally created as a caricature of Helen Kane, an American singer who gained fame by imitating the style of black singer Baby Esther Jones. Although Betty was originally an anthropomorphic French poodle, as she became the star of her own cartoons, Boop was transformed into a full human. Kane ended up suing Max Fleischer and Paramount for exploiting her personality and likeness, but ultimately lost the lawsuit. Number 6. Milhouse Van Houten, Josh Saviano. There are so many things in common between The Simpsons character Milhouse and Josh Saviano, who became famous because of his role in the Wonder Years. It's no wonder that Milhouse Van Houten is considered to be a character based on Saviano. Nowadays, Josh Saviano is an American lawyer. Most of us are definitely familiar with the nearsighted, gullible and socially awkward Milhouse Van Houten from The Simpsons. Although he was named after US President Nixon, whose middle name was Milhouse, the boy's character and likeness was based on Josh Saviano's Paul Pfeiffer, whom the show creators aimed to caricature. We can certainly see how these two are alike.